I'm Christy. Today I want to talk to you about some travel secrets for the holiday planning. I started the blog post with "Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go." Now, as I was typing it, I was actually singing along in my head. Were you singing along with me? So these days, holiday travel isn't necessarily to grandma's house. Maybe it's to relatives' homes, or maybe it's to a friend's home. Sometimes the travel involved over the holidays is a short ride across town. Other times it's a long car ride, or maybe even a flight. But regardless of how long the trip or short the trip may be, when you have a loved one with special needs, many times extra planning and preparation is a must. Let's think through this process. Now, I do need to say I'm a firm believer in not reinventing the wheel. So, if I can pass along some information to you that'll make your life easier, I'm all for it. In that same vein, I don't want to rehash things that I've already said. So, over on the blog, I have a link to my intro post to the travel series that I did a little over a year ago. You can find that at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This post originally posted in November of 2019. Now, much of the travel series will apply to holiday travel as well. You can access the whole series from that link, so feel free to dig around and check out the pieces that are of interest to you. Now, admittedly, there are some differences when you travel during the holidays. Roads and airports tend to be busier, and therefore they can slow down. Weather can impact how long it takes to get places, but you know how to plan for all of those things. Traveling with someone with special needs means that you're likely to need a few easily accessible extras. Some extra snacks, charger with a cable, and maybe even a battery charger in case you can't find that electrical outlet in time. And some extras to entertain or distract when boredom sets in. Okay, reality check here. Those first two items, and in some ways all of those items, are good ideas for everyone when they're traveling. Now, once again, I know I'm not thinking of all the possibilities and all the things that may come up. And I did have some trouble finding articles that were specifically about trips for holiday travels with teens and adults with special needs. I did find two articles that I think will offer some good tips for individuals with special needs, though, regardless of age. The first one is an article from Easter Seals. They break down the tips into different categories for a total of 12 tips. I especially like the ones about TSA, which is the U.S. airport security. Some of these things I didn't know, and they're good for air travel in general. The idea of getting a doctor's letter to help prove a disability is another good suggestion. And I also like the idea of a visual aid for helping your loved one know how much longer until you arrive. Now, I think it's great for a road trip, which is what they recommend it for. I think it also could be good for a long plane ride as well. There's also an article from travelingmom.com. Again, you can find links to them over on the blog. This offers one mom's personal experiences and tips. I especially like her idea of creating a packing list to make sure she doesn't forget anything. Now, we ran into that problem this summer when we were traveling as a family. And so we started a packing list on our first trip with things that we had forgotten. So we made sure that we didn't forget them on the subsequent trips. Now, that's not to say we didn't forget other things on those subsequent trips, but we can add them to the list now. Once again, I'll say I think this is a great tip for anyone, special needs or not. Now, what you include on that packing list obviously will vary from person to person. I also found a few websites that provide travel options for adults with special needs. My Family Travels has an article with travel options for the whole family. They list several specific locations as well as a number of organizations that organize travel for individuals with special needs and their families. Definitely an article that I'm bookmarking for future reference. Then I also found a couple places that do trips specifically for individuals with special needs. Search Beyond plans and takes adults age 17 plus on special needs, or adults with special needs who are 17 and older on trips. From what I can tell, these are usually trips where all the participants have special needs along with the staff needed to take care of everyone and get everyone involved a positive experience. If this is a situation you find yourself in, I'd check them out. It doesn't look like it's an option for families to go on trips together, though. Now, the guided tour also offers tours for adults with special needs. I like how they put it. Quote, "The focus of the guided tour is to provide a growth-producing experience for our travelers in which they are able to travel and socialize independent of their families." End quote. So, obviously, this is not a family option, but again, it's nice to know that these kind of options exist. You can find links to these articles and these websites over on the blog. So my question for you this week is this: how do you plan and execute travel during the holidays? Do you tend to travel? How does your loved one handle the travel? I'd love to hear your experiences. You can leave me a comment below, or you can leave me a comment over on the blog. Again, that's at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This originally posted in November of 2019. As always, I'd appreciate it if you'd share this with anybody you think would find it helpful. I'd love to help as many families as I can. Sign-up lists are available as usual over on the website. Signing up lets you know about all newly released content as soon as it's available. Hoping for uneventful travel, regardless of how far you go, so that we can all say that life is good and there is never a dull moment.